PAC12 Network.
Back to the beach in Tucson, Arizona. Bear Down Beach, the site on the campus of the University of Arizona for the best action in Pac-12 women's beach volleyball. The Utah Utes won earlier today over Oregon, and now they meet the buzzsaw, undefeated #1 in the nation, USC Trojans. Take a look at the brackets and how they've laid out through today. UCLA and Arizona advanced earlier. Arizona State just put themselves in the next round. And there is a contenders bracket as well. USC hoping to keep themselves up top in the winner's half. Welcome back to the beach. Kevin Barnett alongside Kevin Wong. And Kevin, we're about to get a look at the #1 team in the nation in USC and what's made them so special they've been able to carry an undefeated record through this year.
They've got a really competitive culture. You got to really give Anna Collier a lot of credit in terms of fostering competitiveness. They also have a group of seniors who are battle tested, have come through in big situations before.
5 pairs, 2.5 of those pairs seniors. Kelly Clays along with Sarah Hughes, not only dominant collegiately, 103 straight matches they won before they lost one to earlier this year to St. Mary's, but they have a host of other players who can also score points for them, and they've been fairly consistent.
Yeah, top to bottom, #1 through #5. If you just make a traveling dual playing match at USC, you've accomplished quite a bit in this realm. Last time they won a match as a team, lost a match as a team, March 11th of 2016. It's been over a year.
Very good. Let's get down to the action. 5 courts all happening at one time, an unusual circumstance for collegiate beach volleyball. Normally you'd have 2 flights of play, and it would start with the 4 and the 5 at near every event. Well, here, all 5 are going to play all at one time. Only happens a couple of times a year. Happened earlier at the Battle of the Beach outside. So we will focus in now on court 1. Take the #1 pairs, and this is a matchup between Adora Anai and Danny Barton of Utah against Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes. Anai and Barton won in 3 earlier today against Oregon. Anai, number 14, pops that one up, and it's Barton with a little soft wrist away, the lefty in #1 white. Thankfully, someone wore their dork jerseys in this one. USC in the Cardinal. Cardinal and gold, the official colors there at USC. Here's Anai, jump service for the indoor player. Significantly hotter than it was first match of the day at 9 a.m. for the Utah Utes. Touch there from Anai isn't good enough, and we're tied at 1. Rules for this event: it is double elimination for the teams, but inside of this particular matchup of 5 pairs, it will be the first 3 pairs to win. Out of 5, 3 of 5, and then inside of what we're watching right now, the pairs, it is 2 of 3. First 2 sets to 21, third if needed to 15. We've seen a couple of teams sweep. The last 3 have gone all sweeps. Arizona, UCLA, and ASU. Key to get off the court as quickly as possible in 2 sets in midday, don't you think, Kevin Wong?
Yeah, I think as the conditions get a little hotter, the wind dropping a little bit, the flags in the distance, they are hardly moving. One of the interesting dynamics of this format, though, Utah going to be a little more game ready. They played the play-in match against Oregon earlier in the day. They come in with some confidence, with some reps. Shouldn't have been too much fatigue. They've had some time to rest, whereas USC, they've been chopping at the bit.
Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes, the pair for USC. Clays at the net, the blocker. Sarah Hughes, the defender. Best team in collegiate beach volleyball. They will embark on a professional career directly following the conclusion of the championship next week for the teams, and then the pairs championship happening the following week in Hermosa Beach from the ABCA. A summer of beach volleyball upcoming for Sarah Hughes, who has won the last 3 national championships, ABCA and then NCAA. Sarah Hughes has been tremendous, not only with Kelly Clays, but before that.
Sarah Hughes, her idol, Misty May, and a lot of people think that she might be the next coming of Misty May. Same size, very similar skill set.
Well, to watch Sarah Hughes move through the sand is to watch someone pretend as though the sand doesn't exist. Evidence right there with that defensive play. And how about the hands from Clays? Next level. transition.
Yeah, Clays is the real deal. Best big in the game. She's fast, she's fluid, but her indoor background as a setter, transferring her and kind of the difference maker from her and a lot of the other top middles, top blockers.
Many of whom used to be middles or opposites,
Right.
yeah. That one a little too tight, but a 6-3 start.
Let's go, Dove. Right here.
Mentioned the 103 in a row that Clays and Hughes won. April 2nd, 2015 was the last loss before St. Mary's got them. Oh, a tight cut shot there from Sarah Hughes. It was a 13-21, 21-18, 17-15 victory for Knudsen and Rund of St. Mary's. And I asked Dane Blanton about that, and assistant coach for USC, and he said, look, a few factors may have been at work. It was fairly windy late in the day. If you've ever been out to a Southern California beach, you know that about 12, 1 o'clock, the wind picks up. It can really be howling. It was at the end of a several match streak. And frankly, St. Mary's played well.
Yeah, wind's an interesting thing in that a little bit of wind prevailing really favors the more experienced teams who can control the ball, passing and setting. But if you get a lot of wind, especially when it's gusty, all of a sudden it becomes a little bit of a leveling of the field effect, as anyone can go back and serve aces. Not anyone can do exactly what Kelly Clays did right there. Teeing off.
Clays stays to the net. That one hit over the top. And that one stuffed, blocked. Barton up to the task against Hughes, who was looking to boom it.
Barton, one of the big upsides. She's a bomber. She's a beach first player.
A look at Anna Collier. 6 years as USC head coach, and that dates back beyond nearly everyone else we talk about. USC was on the beach volleyball train right away.
Fully committed, multiple coaches. They had a full budget. They funded all their scholarships right off the bat, and it's paid off major dividends. First NCAA championship last year, prohibitive favorite for this year as well. Question mark is going to be about next year.
Whole bunch of seniors leaving the program. Will it tilt towards UCLA, or will USC bring up a new wave of top-level beach volleyball talent?
Or will Washington, right, start to blend their talent and take some of that big indoor talent and add some beach-only rosters to fill in the gaps?
Look at this little run. Another mistake here. Tough pass, and a ball hit out of bounds by Clays and Hughes, and all of a sudden it's 9-7. Anai continues to serve. More wrist away. They'll continue to work on Clays. This time, Clays goes a little softer and finds the sand. Pair 2. Carly Truman and Bailey Choi taking on Sophie Bukovic, pardon me, and Allie Wheeler.
Across the
Pair
board,
3,
right?
it's 9-9. It's close.
Really tight games, and it's that exact dynamic. You're seeing unforced errors from the SC time. They're jazzed, right? They're really excited. They've got tons of energy. Advantage early. Utah could keep it close. If they can steal some of these first set victories, they can put a little trouble for Anna Collier.
Right, Utah's been out here since about 8 a.m. and USC didn't get out here till a little bit around noon or so.
And all the teams got their practice rounds in yesterday, but just one round, you know, an hour and a half at a time.
As a player, what did you like, morning matches or afternoon matches?
You know what I really liked on the beach? I like night matches. We didn't get to play them very often, but there's something about a night beach volleyball match that adds a little level of interest and excitement.
Now you'll see some of that action coming up later today, playing all the way down 7, 8 o'clock tonight, before Friday's action picks up tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Kelly, you'll serve.
There is a look at J.J. Van Niel, first season.
Pretty interesting. You read a lot and you hear a lot about his players saying different sayings, and one of the sayings is when you're in a fiddle, hit the deep middle. And we asked J.J. Van Niel where he got that quote from, and it was surprising. He said, hey, I was watching a Pac-12 broadcast, and I heard Holly McPeak say it over and over again, and it's something that really made a lot of sense. Hit the middle of the court when you're in trouble. Just dropping wisdom.
Talk about Utah volleyball. Perhaps the most famous name in Utah volleyball would be Jake Spiker Gibb. Middle name as the wife, or the name of his mom, the native name, Spiker. Yeah. Actually, Spiker. Perfect. He said, did J.J. Van Niel it? I got a picture with him. I saw him, and I ran up and I got a selfie with him. He said, I'm normally not starstruck, but I had no idea what to say.
Multiple Olympics, brand new partner. He's playing with a Hawaiian. Good things happen when you dial into the roots of beach volleyball. Playing with Taylor Crabb this year. One of the favorites alongside Phil Dahlhauser and Nick Lucena. Of course, that first tournament starts next weekend. A lot of things going on. You talked about it next weekend in beach volleyball.
Beach volleyball NCAA National Championship happening down in Gulf Shores, Alabama. You have the indoor side, the men's championship happening. The Standing Six or Super Six starts on Tuesday, but concludes with a Saturday championship out in Columbus. And then you have the Huntington Beach and the AVP getting started on their season. Clays and Hughes will not be in that event just yet, that professional event, but you better believe a professional career is coming for number 14 and number 3 in Cardinal and Gold. Although they'll be forced by the FIVB to wear the numbers 1 and 2.
You got a big thing about that, huh?
Hey, you're missing a marketing opportunity. Everyone knows who number 23 in basketball is forever.
I mean, let's just extend it into the broadcast booth.
Yeah, can I wear numbers? Can I wear like a bass fisherman's suit? A whole bunch of sponsors on it?
What number would you be?
There's a look at what they've already done. They've already played some professional events as recently as Fort Lauderdale. Actually played with different partners at the end of February. They've had huge success. AVP San Francisco. And they will embark on a career together. Look at that short shot to touch from Sarah Hughes.
That'd be interesting to see how long they stay together, I think is the question, right? Do they stay together all the way through Tokyo? Do they get picked up or poached along the way? You almost think that the Fitz, April Ross, Carrie Walsh-Jennings kind of seem like some people who might want to take a chance on them eventually. Maybe not right off the bats, but NCAA beach volleyball prepares these players for success really quickly.
Points will be the big question internationally. Points so critical in getting into tournaments, getting good seeds, not having to play early matches or try and get into tournaments.
And that's where veteran partners who have a bunch of points can kind of lend you some of their leverage and some of their standing to get you in.
Anaya and Barton trail by just 3. Still working on Clays. It's always funny to see teams go after the bigger player, and you wonder, why would you go after the short person is oftentimes the lay philosophy. Nope, go after the bigger player. 127 victories as a pair, 103 of those came in a row consecutively until just a few weeks ago.
USC right now is putting up numbers that could end up being all-time records. You just think about how much better they have been than the competition throughout this 4-year span.
How much of that is the excellence from SC, the obvious excellence, but also the early entry of the program, the developing nature of the sport?
I think it's all wrapped up, right? And that's why I don't know if it can happen anymore. You have 2 coaches, Anna Collier and Allie Wood, who were very instrumental in the USA Volleyball high performance pipeline. So they got a lot of the top recruits, and take a look at those numbers.
Well, on a winning streak that has spanned between seasons for the team as a whole.
5 losses in 3 seasons.
Absolutely ridiculous numbers for USC. SC already victorious in set number 1, out on court number 5, 21-9. The relative strength of the USC roster has been a huge part of running off that team record. Not many teams are that strong all the way down.
And it's, for the most part, has been all beach-only athletes. You know, it was a very separated program. Very exclusive. In fact, though, I've heard recent kind of rumblings that Mick Haley, for the first time ever, is thinking about allowing a recruit that's coming in who says, hey, I want to do both. He's thinking about kind of budging a little bit and saying, okay, come on in and we'll let you play beach and indoor. Hasn't happened yet.
Something's really happened if you're getting Mick Haley to change his tune. Something is going on. Mick Haley, the legendary head coach, first at Kellogg Community College before places like Texas, the USA Women's National Team, and then USC. Ball mark question resolved, and it's 19-14, Clays and Hughes, in what has been a workmanlike first set. Down the line to Barton. And a stuff block off of a bad set from Anai. Temperature approaching 90 out here in Tucson, midday, high sun. Utah in their second set of matches. Barton, the lefty, bangs it hard off the hands of Clays, but a host of set points still remain. Utah spent much of this first set serving Clays. Let's see if they go to her here with the set hanging in the balance. Indeed they do. Oh, the wind, you can see it push the ball right there, a sudden wind gust. And dealing with it well, the pair from USC, and dealing with the first set 21-15. We will go, since there are 5 courts, we will jump immediately over to court 2 after that victory in the first set. And this is a matchup between Wheeler and Bukovic and Truman and Choi. 21-16 the result there for USC. So let's take it on to court number 3. Beth Lanier will have some words for Choi and Truman between sets. They're on court 2. Out on court 3, Eliza Katoa and Tori Glasker in the far side. Popping that ball over was Glasker, and coming the other way is Nicolette Martin. Ball too tight to the net. Handled, but put just out of bounds by her partner, Therese Cannon. So Cannon and Martin taking on Katoa and Glasker in what is an 18-18 matchup. Martin with the set. Deep line, and that will be out of bounds. Martin, number 35 for USC. They're on the left-hand side. Just named Pac-12 Beach Volleyball Student Athlete of the Year. An incredible honor for the senior out of Anaheim, California, majoring in fine arts. Wants to be a Disney animator, something I haven't seen on a volleyball resume before. Said she's fiery, intense, and loud. That's how her coaching staff describes her. So if you're playing against her, you might wonder what is going on the other side of the net.
You know who she looks up to on the AVP tour? Take one guess.
Oh, John Rosenthal.
Earlier today. No, Casey Patterson.
Casey Patterson,
his
the boom.
energy on the court. Mr. Boom himself.
Should have known that. Should have gone with that. Went with Superman instead of the boom. Casey Patterson, he'll bring the boom on the court on Saturday or maybe a final on Sunday, but he'll also bring it Tuesday afternoon in Huntington Beach.
Look at Utah fighting back. 20. Glasker and Katoa. This jump floats in the wind, causing all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, the wind is kicked up all of a sudden out of nowhere. Katoa. Look at that ball fade. Bad set. Popped over, and what a lucky bounce off the tape for Therese Cannon.
I'll tell you, these tapes have been the stiffest cables we've seen all year long. How many times? Typically on a normal cable, that thing will trickle over. These things have been bouncing off like a trampoline.
Off the hands of Cannon. There you make a good point. I saw a serve earlier. Hit it, go straight up, hit it again, bounce off it. They also apparently are covered in Velcro or some sort of sticky substance because they cut the ball and it will wrap on one side, your side, then it'll wrap over the other side and go down.
Everything brand new and fresh here at the Pac-12 Beach Volleyball Championships.
Tucson, Arizona, purpose-built facility. Bear Down Beach, they call it. Didn't make Cal comfortable to hear that, though. Cal got blanked 5-0 by the home side earlier. 22-21 now. Look at Glasker and Katoa.
Team that's high on energy, high on effort, very fun to watch. Look at set point.
Here we go. Not that time. Perfectly done into the corner by Therese Cannon. Transfer from Georgetown. She was all Big East back there. 2014 before moving over to SC and the Beach. Pittsford, New York native. Opportunity SC. Take the ad. Cannon. Little step close and a high reach. SC now will have set point. Number 4 for the Trojans.
When Cannon gets a pass, she has a cannon, right? Unstoppable. That first contact so important.
Played at the number 6 last year. Did not spend any time really playing, but 4 times the number 5. This year playing the number 3 spot, Therese Cannon. Huge improvement. Can Utah run it down? They can. Forcing SC to side out to win it. Right down the middle. Perfect placement. There it was. Nicolette Martin. When you're playing a fiddle, you go to the middle. Number 1 team in the nation, off to a good start. More of them and Utah. PAC12 Beach Volleyball Championships from Tucson.
You're watching PAC to win championships.
PAC12 Beach Volleyball is brought to you by State Farm. Get to a better state. Little water flowing in the desert. Things starting to flow for the number 1 team in the nation. USC taking on Utah. Welcome back to the desert. Kevin Barnett alongside Kevin Wong. Look at Dane Blanton there, Olympic gold medalist in 2000. Broadcaster, speaker extraordinaire, as well as assistant coach there at USC. He's been working with the number 5 pair and has been a dominant performance down on court number 5 by the 2-time Olympian and gold medalist. Take a look at Dane's photos here. In Sydney, victorious. Gold medal, and then on a play again in Athens, and now broadcasting team here on the Pac-12 networks with a gentleman I recognize there. A couple guys, Micah Christensen there in the middle. Now a bronze medalist this past year for Team USA.
Been a valuable contributor to this game. I think he's got a different perspective sometimes too than Anna Collier and Allie Wood. Been in the trenches more recently, and one of the things throughout, you talk to different players, they say Dane's taught us you got to be aggressive, got to take swings, got to take some chances, and I think we see you win championships, you don't win by not making more mistakes on the other side. You got to create errors, you got to be aggressive, you got to attack, and that's what SC's been doing all year long.
Attacking on court number 5 is a team of Jenna Belton and Joe Kremer. Actually unusual for a number 5 seed. Both of these players in Cardinal and Gold have won national titles. They both won it at the number 5 spot over the last 2 seasons. Belton did it at the number 5 spot 2 years ago when it was an AVCA national championship, and then Joe Kremer won it last year at the number 5 spot with Zoe Nightingale, who was a UCLA transfer, finishing out her beach career over crosstown at USC. And then you have to give this about Zoe Nightingale. NCAA title indoors with UCLA and on the beach with USC, only player to win in both disciplines a national title. So the number 5 spot full of a couple players with tons of experience. And 21-9 was the result in the first, 14-10, a lot closer here in the second. If you get somebody 21-9 in the first set, what are the perils of coming back out in set number 2?
I think it's indoor. I think it's on the beach. I think it's in life, right? Sometimes when things are too easy, you shut the switch down, you power down, and pretty dangerous. Typically, USC teams aren't about that, but you talked about it, right? That one loss that the team of Clays Hughes had throughout this last season. They won the first set and then shut her down. Came back to make it close, 15-13 in the third set. But sometimes, you know when you turn on those lights sometimes and it takes a little time to recharge and you want to make sure you want to keep it on the whole time.
I have those in my house.
Yeah, something just like that.
16-11 now extending over Oblad and Tuig.
Belton Kramer, new partnership and dominating at the number 5 position. Kramer scrappy and loud. Belton a little smoother, not quite so flashy.
This is a team in the typical beach volleyball tournament. At the 4 and the 5 get started, the 5 spot, you're setting the tone for everybody else on your team. You're playing first. It's a big pressure spot. And people sometimes get caught up in the numbers about who's the 1, who's the 2, and so on. You go, oh, the number 5 team, they must not be very good. They're the number 5. But how important is that spot when you're kicking off an event?
Yeah, and Kramer's actually talked about how she loves kind of getting that first W on the board. You make the job a lot easier for everyone else. And we had alluded to the fact, but she's the one. She is a transfer from Notre Dame, played on the indoor program there, and said, hey, no beach, no me. I'm on my way out to USC. (17-13), closer but still in control. USC only lost 1 match all season long as this USC squad, number 5 squad. They'd be like a number 2 at nearly every school, maybe a number 1 at a lot too as well.
Oh, that ball might have been out of bounds, still played up. Tui keeps it in play. A little check down to see where the defense is at, and a little shot over. Oh, some experience, Emily Tuig. Very nice.
Hard worker, undersized, really good beach volleyball IQ.
And that was in the scouting report right there. Will go over on 1. She's a shooter. Whatever you need to win.
Shooter's got to shoot.
Fish has got to swim.
And Joe Kramer's got to hit nasty cut shots over the block.
18-14. Oblad and Tuig need to make a move. Probably needs to happen about now.
Kramer and Belton in a lot of classes together, actually enjoyed time together. Saying they're thinking about moving in and being roommates for next year. I'm telling you, I think that's a bad idea. I think you got to have a little bit of separation. I do.
Is that why your partner said what they said about it? Huh?
Could very well be. Well deserved.
19-14, extending the lead now. Not like the first set, but solidly in control. Opportunity to go to set point and match point. That'll do it. We are now at set point, match point, looking to put, as usual, for the number 5 pair, the first points on the board for their side. And the tough serve will do it. Match point, set point concludes 21-9, 21-14, and USC is up 1-0.
Thank you.
That is the first step towards another national title. PAC12 title will get you to the national championship.
Nearly identical scores, and it's the same storyline, right? In set number 1, you had a tuned-up Utah squad coming in playing very good volleyball. USC a little streaky, trying to find their groove, and then when they found that groove, not letting off the gas pedal, either the number 1 or 2 pairs teams.
Sophie Bukovic and Allie Wheeler, 21-16, now 17-6. Make it 18-6 with the jump serve there. Allie Wheeler laying it up into the wind as we now have a little bit of a crosswind happening. No traditional good side as the wind from the west and these courts pointing north-south.
Allie Wheeler hitting that ball under the net, but has been such a big factor this year. First person ever from Northern California to get a beach volleyball scholarship.
So if you owe donuts for hitting it underneath the net indoors, what do you owe, croissants on the beach? What do you have to bring?
Usually it's beers, but I don't know if we're of age out
Not
here.
acceptable
so,
out there with everybody.
I think you just, say next play. Much more nurturing level of play here.
There you go. There you go. 19-7, 19-5. Things kind of getting out of hand on court number 1 as SC is showing you why they're the number 1 team in the nation, top to bottom. Solid talent, knuckles over the top. And it's 20-7 on court 2. You kind of knew if you were Utah or Oregon and you won that first matchup this morning, you knew what you were in for. And USC has certainly delivered on that expectation. Block at the net, and it's 21-7 in the second set, and the victory goes for Vukovic and Wheeler.
Now he's actually called the net on the play, so the teams will switch side.
Well,
wanted to throw in a quick Vukovic story. Father passed away 6 years ago, never got to see me play beach volleyball. Always called me the dark horse, said that I would emerge at some point in time. And I'll tell you what, the national champion Vukovic really has emerged in 2016 and 17.
Yeah, with you, come on. Line, nobody. Yes!
nice left-handed swing. Still fighting are Adora Anai and Danny Barton. But things are bleak at 20-8.
To clinch the duel.
USC with the win, and USC as a team with the win in the duel, 3-0. Making quick work of Utah.
Thanks, ladies. Good job. Nice plan. Nice job. Good job.
That's what a first round generally looks like when you have a team as dominant as USC, 30-0 coming in. Reigning two-time national champions, winners of the first ever NCAA Beach Volleyball Championship last year. Still action happening. Even though USC has taken the win, there's more to cheer for if you're a USC player. You're going to go out and try and encourage your teammates in the number 4 spot.
And this SC team thrown together at the last minute. Joy Dennis out sick today, the normal partner of April Bustamante. So in steps Katrina Kernochan, number 20, on the far side of the court. And maybe the closest match of our day. Utah knocking on the door here in set number 2. Katrina Kernochan.
Off the hands and down of Tani Luafalimana, number 20, and her partner Brianna Dorman. Dorman playing defense.
Good look at the new partnership. Kernochan throughout the year has been playing with Lainey Thomas. Becca Dunn at the number 6 position throughout the year. Big chance for her to get up here into the number 4 spot.
Right here, hang on.
Set there and another point. Boy, looking like they've played together all season long are Bustamante and Kernochan.
You know, one of the question marks becomes if you replace a 5'9" player for a 6'1" player, it kind of messes up with the roles of offense and defense here. Who's blocking, who's playing in the back.
You had a pair of blockers kind of playing together with each other, so maybe it's a little clarification.
But not really, because Kernochan, look at where she's at the net. She's staying up there, making some drops, hitting the cut shot. Growing up, she idolized our colleague, Holly McPeak, and then, like many players in this tournament, has had a chance to work with her at Elite Beach Volleyball Club.
Scholar Athlete Award at Miracosta High School there, the local high school and volleyball factory in Manhattan Beach for Katrina Kernochan.
Said she once ran a marathon. Her brother signed himself and her up and then started bragging to everyone. Cousins, aunts, uncles. We're running a marathon. She said so many people knew I couldn't back out.
How about the USC Trojans record? Number 1 a curse, not for USC, 83-3.
Now, there's always that dialogue. Is the first one the hardest to win? Is the second one the hardest to win? I think it's tough to stay motivated when you're on the top of the mountain. I think the players themselves have some sort of role in that situation, but you also got to give a lot of credit to the coaches who can press the right buttons and keep the fire lit.
USC dominating in pair 3 as well after a close first set, 17-8 now. This the closest of the remaining action. Dorman, there it is. Now it's from the middle of the court to the deep corner. Shrimp, no shrimp.
That's no shrimp. That's just a line shot. Curly cue.
Be Good Volleyball t-shirt, shrimp, no shrimp. Question mark. Bustamante with the easy kill out of Redondo Beach, the sophomore 6-footer.
Had an abdominal tear earlier in the year, kept her out of a lot of different tournaments. Recovered nicely here.
Chopped up off the top of the tape, and the lead is now 19-14. So just when you thought it was going to be a close second set, SC again asserting themselves. We've seen it happen on several of the courts. Close first set, but the dominance of USC apparent afterwards as that one is served wide.
And we talk about a team with a lot of seniors and juniors. This is a team that a couple of sophomores has some future moving forward. Joy Dennis, also a freshman. So there's some youth waiting in the wings.
Nice hand set. Beautifully done by Ebro Bustamante.
Also a lot of talk, a lot of chatter about the European recruit that USC has on their way. Haven't heard a name yet, but it's becoming kind of like a Kaiser Soze character.
Strangely, that's her name.
Could be. Kaiser Soze.
Match point. Bad pass. Ulufalimana saves it.
You got it. Like.
And that one off the tape and just out of bounds. I think there's some 777 spray adhesive on the top of the tape there, gripping the ball. Some sort of 3M product going right along there. Oh, another set point. But Utah with another tough serve. Ulufalimana. A little inside slide and puts it over, but still a 3-point advantage for USC. Come off the bench and get a win. That's how it's working for USC. So congratulations to the team of Bustamante and Kiernakan for their victory, as one remains and it is match point, and that'll do it. Victory for Martin and Cannon, and USC has won. A straight sweep over Utah, 5-0.
Thank you.
Kevin, #1 team in the nation. What did you like?
They're sharp, right? You want the jitters and the nerves at the beginning. That shows you how much they care. Anna Collier has got her team headed in the right direction at these Pac-12 Beach Volleyball Championships.
So the first round is complete. USC moves on. They will face off with Arizona State coming up at 6 p.m. tonight. 5 p.m. will feature UCLA and Arizona. We will have the first match of the contenders bracket coming up here shortly. Pac-12 Network's a full day of beach volleyball coverage for your pleasure, for your enjoyment. Kevin Barnett and Kevin Wong coming back for one more. Oregon Ducks taking on the Washington Huskies when we return to Pac-12 Networks. But for now, it's USC 5-0 and moving on towards another title.
We put so much effort